support. Again, I want to thank Foster Freeze for finding the time to come on the program in the first hour. I hope that listeners got a chance to hear for yourselves why it is I have come to respect the man. He's definitely one of a kind when it comes to being extremely candid and honest about where he stands and what he believes in. And let's face it, if we had more people who were willing to be just that way and live by the same standards, I think we would find ourselves in a better situation than what we are in currently in this country. That is just my opinion. However, every now and then I think I have actually good opinions, and that's one of the few that I would say that I think is actually a good one. If I sound a bit winded, it is because trying to do this show and having a pug living with me at the same time, sometimes the pug decides that I'm supposed to get up and let him out and do things right in the middle of a segment on the show. So right now, Mojo has been banished to Siberia. He is outside by himself, but he will figure out how to scratch the door to make it bounce up a little bit, just enough to where he can get his paw there and pull it open. He'll find his way back in. I'm curious if anyone else is finding the constant coverage of the tragedy in Newtown, Connecticut to be a bit distasteful. Don't get me wrong. I can only imagine what the families of those children are feeling and going through right now. I can only imagine what the families of the school's principal and the teachers and the other adults that were killed on Friday are going through right now. But I'm starting to wonder if this constant, nonstop media coverage might not actually end up creating even more difficulties for the victims and the victims' families than it does in helping them to heal and try to pull their lives together. Now, I got to thinking, what could we do? Or what could I do that would honor the 20 children that lost their lives and the 7 adults? We are 8 days from Christmas. So I had this idea pop in my head. You know, it's been said that God takes the good home early. And if that is in fact the case, then he just took home 20 angels. No doubt about it. Why not go and pick up an angel ornament picture frame for each kid and then print the picture of each one of these 20 children that died on Friday and put one each inside an angel ornament picture frame and put it on the tree and mark it Mark it with the child's name, the date, everything. Put it on your tree. Let it be something that on Christmas morning you can look up to and find some comfort in knowing that these children are not in a bad place. In fact, for those of you and us who believe in a heaven and a hell, you can't help but know that they're in heaven. So maybe that would help people find comfort in something that, let's face it, just the mere fact of what happened makes us all uncomfortable, even those of us who are nowhere near Newtown, Connecticut. But I do believe a lot of this goes back to what Foster was saying about our culture and about the fact that we do have kids. Look, we have kids younger than those that were killed on Friday that sit in front of video games with their fingers counting the number of kills that they make using a joystick or a game console controller or whatever. Something's got to change. We can continue to scream about gun controls. See, I told you Mojo would figure out how to keep scratching the door until he brought himself back in, because he just did. We can scream about banning guns because we want to score some political points all day long, but that's not going to change it. These guns were not illegally owned. Guns really don't shoot themselves. So we do have to stop and think, are we going to use this to score political points? Now, some say that Barack Obama's speech at the memorial service yesterday in Connecticut at the high school was political when he brought up what he would do and how he would use the power of his office, whatever power he had to do something. Was that a political position? Was that political posturing? Some say yes, some say no. You ask me, yes. But then again, you know me. I think just about everything Barack Obama does is political posturing. I think what Barack Obama did Friday in trying to summon up tears and choking up when he made a statement in front of the White House press corps on Friday was political posturing. If you watch and time his reactions to the shutters of cameras going off in the White House press briefing room, you'll understand why I said that. I don't care what Barack Obama says he wants to do or will do, or what he says he thinks has to be done to stop this. I care about what we as Americans are going to allow a politician to do to score political points. I care about the fact that we continue. Here it is Monday, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you look everywhere you looked on television from Friday through tonight, it's nonstop repeat coverage over and over of every step and tear and comment that has been made in Newtown, Connecticut. And I just think it's too much. I think it's probably even too much for the families and the victims. You know, I saw a tweet on Twitter earlier this afternoon. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was saying, you know, that he couldn't believe the cold-heartedness of journalists. And he said that he was one of them. And he mentioned that journalists in Newtown were actually screaming questions to the families of the two young boys that they had just buried this afternoon. You're listening to Through the Mirror with Larry Sinclair on the Runts Radio Network. We'll be back after these brief messages.
Scientists in England have succeeded in stabilizing the time-honored substance in garlic that destroys harmful bacteria, viruses, molds, yeast, and fungus. This all-natural microbe killer is called Allicin C, and it's now available to you in 100% vegetarian capsules only on the New Earth page at Rense.com. This powerful broad-spectrum antimicrobial agent is harmless to friendly bacteria and has been concentrated to equal an astonishing 35 cloves of garlic in each vegetarian capsule. Think about it. The antibacterial, antiviral strength of 35 odorless cloves of garlic in just one capsule. Allicin C is so effective it even destroys superbug MRSA in test after test. Allicin C is truly an incredible advance in natural medicine, and with the threats of bacterial and viral diseases and pandemics growing, no home should be without it. Learn more and order Allicin C on the New Earth page at Rense.com.
Remember this name, Carnivora. That's CARNIVORA.com. What if I told you that this 100% pure and natural product was delivered directly to the White House at President Reagan's personal request at a time when only the president was able to obtain it? Reagan used this amazing product, Carnivora, successfully, a product derived only from nature that has the intelligence to instinctively attack abnormal cells only without harming a single normal cell, and the power to actually wake up critical immune cells from dormancy to attack foreign invaders that don't belong in our bodies. Carnivora is now obtainable by anyone who wants to get healthy and stay that way. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY and protect yourself with 17 naturally occurring compounds that will unleash powerful immune defense. That's 1-866-VENUS-FLY. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY and get your Carnivora today. Visit carnivora.com.
Known worldwide as the most consistently fascinating, informative, and unique program on radio, the Jeff Rense program can be yours to listen to anytime, anywhere, whenever you want to hear it. For pennies a day, our subscribers can download any of Jeff's thousands of programs featuring a treasury of newsmakers, researchers, eyewitnesses, and incredible subjects, all in MP3 commercial-free, crystal-clear 56-bit digital sound, and take these often unforgettable programs with them wherever they go. As a subscriber, you can also listen live at airtime, online, anywhere in the world, or browse through our archives of over 10,000 hours of legendary broadcasts. Subscribe now by taking the link at the top of Rense.com and enrich your mind with the most unique panorama of vital information and the best independent, honest journalism in radio. Look for the Subscribe Now link on Rense.com and give yourself the knowledge you need for these unprecedented times.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in hour 2 of Through the Mirror with Larry Sinclair on the Rense Radio Network. We had in the first hour Foster Freeze, which I am not going to stop promoting because that is the individual that I was alluding to all last week that I wanted to have on the program at least once before we said our final goodnights on this coming Friday. And I wanted to have him on because I really do believe, and I've learned this and I've seen it firsthand in the last year and a half in the political season, that so many people are portrayed because of their political stances or because of what candidate they support, or whether or not they jump on board and just automatically, toe the party line or whatever, or are portrayed as something that most of them are not. And I've had the true privilege of standing face to face with this man on 2 occasions and talking to him and asking him anything I wanted to ask him without any preconditions, without giving any advance notice as far as what would be asked or what wouldn't be. And the man will sit there, or he will stand there, and he will answer questions, and he will tell you exactly what he feels. And I think he's on to something when he says that he's looking to bring this left, right, forward march thing to fruition. And the reason I say I think he's on to something is because we're going to put up an article about us refocusing our attention and how we're going to refocus the direction of Sinclair News coming for 2013. And that was one of the things that we're looking to do, which is to focus on just simply being honest and looking for answers and engaging anyone who's willing to sit down and enter into discussions and healthy debate on how we can actually tackle the country's problems, rather than, what I have seen over and over again, which is you've got a certain group on the right that, it's their way or else you're not worthy, or those on the left, it's either their way or you're not worthy. And the funny thing is I don't think either side actually represents the majority of America. I don't even think that most on the so-called conservative right represent a whole bunch of people that actually believe in conservative values. And I say that because I talk to people face to face. I sit down with them and I hear what they have to say. And you'd be amazed at some of the things they say about some of the very right conservative websites and pundits and media outlets that, if you let them tell it, then they represent the majority of America. But when you sit down and talk to conservative Americans face to face, in their home or in a restaurant or outside at the pool, it's absolutely amazing how many people really do despise. I'm serious. They can't tolerate some of the very sites and organizations that claim to represent them and their interest. And you have the same thing on the left. Gordon Gebert gave me an opportunity to be involved in something this past October in the Occupy versus Tea Party debate that was put on at St. Luke's Theater in New York City on the 27th of October, that I wouldn't trade for the world. And the reason I wouldn't is because I got to see Gordon at his worst when it comes to the creative side of him. And when I say at his worst, I mean at his ultimately stressed out, can't take another setback or you know what I'm saying. I get the same way, where you work so hard to do something and make something happen, and you've got it within your reach, and you're determined it's going to happen. Sometimes people can get a little testy. That's okay. I'm an expert at dealing with testiness. But Gordon gave me an opportunity to be a part of something that I will treasure for a lifetime. Not only will I treasure it for a lifetime, he gave me the opportunity to be a part of something that I will work effortlessly and endlessly with him and anyone else who is willing to see these debates continue to take place, and to bring even more people into a discussion, a passionate debate, an environment where they can exchange ideas and see where they agree and try to figure out how they can work on the things they don't agree on. I'm telling you, it's going to be something bigger than what I think even Gordon had ever anticipated. And it's right up there with what Foster's talking about when we say we need to bring the two sides together. So,
the Napa Valley moonshine, gazing at the stars on a Hollywood night. As the stars were by my side, I heard Lady Liberty lost her crown. As I was searching for my country at the lost and found, fell in love at first sight, messing around. He had the cutest little nose against the window at the door he found. I'm American made.
Charlie McGrath of Wide Awake News here with an important message from Chris, Phil, Russ, Tyler, and the rest of the folks at BuyEmergencyFoods.com. Do not wait until it's too late to be prepared for disaster. The world's a crazy place. Ever-present threat of man-made political and economic crisis makes it important to be prepared. But when you factor in natural disasters, it goes from being important to being mandatory. 7.7 earthquake in Canada, 6.5 earthquake in Central America, and over 50 million Americans affected by Hurricane Sandy, all in the span of just a few days. Make Legacy Premium freeze-dried storable food part of your preparedness plan today. Legacy Premium tastes great, has a 25-year shelf life, and is the only certified non-GMO freeze-dried storable food in the business. I recommend the 360-serving package. That's 120 days worth of life-sustaining calories for about $1.25 a serving. Please call them at 888-543-7345. Again, 888-543-7345, or better yet, visit them online at BuyEmergencyFoods.com.
American Masters Painting, a family-owned and operated business beautifying homes in Northern Virginia for over 30 years. American Masters craftsmen serve all of your painting, staining, and wood refinishing needs. American Masters not only guarantees to deliver satisfying results, they also promise a positive, rewarding, and personalized experience to your complete satisfaction. American Masters Painting is recognized for its flawless expertise in all custom interior and exterior projects. For a free and timely estimate, contact American Masters Painting toll-free at 888-760-7760 or visit AmericanMastersPainting.com. And remember, when you're thinking American Masters Painting, you're thinking one family serving another, one project at a time. American Masters Painting is a proud sponsor of Through the Mirror with Larry Sinclair on the Rents Radio Network.
You're listening to the Rents Radio Network, coast to coast on the Galaxy 19 KU band satellite, nationwide and worldwide on the internet, and of course, on rents.com.
Are chemtrail geoengineering programs changing our weather and destroying our environment? Why in the world are they spraying?
They want to create a storm in the southeast, then they'll start engineering out over the North Pacific. That's where the trade-offs will be.
Find out why critics are calling Why in the World Are They Spraying the most important film that is revolutionizing the environmental movement.
It's just going to get worse until the point where we're not going to be able to grow anything at all unless it's a Monsanto genetically modified, abiotic stress resistant seed.
Why in the world are they spraying? New international version with languages available from around the world. For 1 month, Rinse listeners receive free shipping. Go to the banner on the front of the Rinse website and click on the link for more info.
It's all about money, and weather is another form of commoditizing, a way the Central Command Group can commoditize another form of our life.
Why in the world are they spraying?
And if you control the weather, you're going to control the planet. It's that simple.
Will 2012 bring the Mayan end of world or the global banking collapse? In 2007, one man, Mike Dillard, made 5 predictions which forecasted the 2008 economic crisis and the pending Eurozone collapse. This week, Mike unleashes 3 brand new, shocking, must-watch videos with predictions for the coming year. www.the3videos.com. Over the past year, Mike Dillard has helped thousands of ordinary people create and recover wealth by tapping into the black box investing strategies the big banks don't want you to know about. www.the3videos.com. As the European banking system implodes and governments collapse at breakneck speeds, the next 12 months will be the most anticipated and important months in modern human history. This will make 2008 look like a walk in the park. Everyone will be affected. Go to www.the3videos.com now. Learn how to prepare your family and prosper during the global financial collapse.
You're my soldier boy, a man amongst men. You're my soldier boy, a man amongst men. You're my soldier boy, a man amongst men.
All right. Oh my God, I just suffered an Alzheimer's moment. I was so busy trying to send out a quick email before we came back from break that I completely lost track of where I was at before we went to commercial. I think I was talking about the fact that we have got to promote and push and engage in whatever it takes to bring those who have opposing views into talking and working and debating with each other in looking for answers to our problems, as opposed to continuing to polarize this country as a right versus left or a left versus right or whatever you want to say we are. See, I am going to make sure that that's the focus that Sinclair News will take coming 2013. I'm not very good at trying to play politics with people. Never have been. Come to think of it, I've never really tried to play politics with people. It just... I guess that's one of my flaws in always being extremely direct and willing to express exactly how I feel and what I think, and not necessarily care what someone else might think of me for it. Some people will say that's a flaw. Other people will say that's a good character trait to have. Others will say that's a sign of being delusional or psychotic or sociopath or whatever. And believe me, I've had all of those descriptions used, plus some that I probably can't even pronounce. But see, I can go to bed at night. I can get up every morning. I can research a story. I can interview anyone, and I can do it without having to put an editor's note going, oh, by the way, I'm writing this article even though I'm receiving financial assistance from the person I'm writing the article about. See, the one thing I've learned really over the last 18 months, when it comes to politics and organizations who claim to represent the truth or who claim to be reporting facts. Sorry, I keep running over my cord. Who claim to be reporting factual information, or who go and search out an expert that will give them the opinion that they want to promote their position on something. In other words, the media has become political operatives and gophers. On the left and the right. It's sad because so many people today rely on the internet and online media outlets and authors and blogs to form opinions. And we can't even be honest with each other about the facts. We have to continue to play up. You know, if you are a so-called Tea Party conservative group, then you play to the politics of a Senator Jim DeMint. I mean, look, as conservatives and as Republicans, today when South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley announced, to no surprise to most people, that she was appointing or naming Congressman Tim Scott to fill Senator Jim DeMint's seat when he leaves the Senate to head the Heritage Foundation. If you go to Twitchy or the same group of, and when I say the same group, if you go to any one of these 50 so-called conservative media sites or pundit sites, and you look at who they link to, they link back and forth to each other. It's all a self-promotion thing. You've got one person with Town Hall who's the fiance of another person at Breitbart, who's the brother-in-law of another person with Michelle Mount, you know, that kind of thing. And all they do is they just repeat each other. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If these are truly friends of yours, great. But I don't think so. I think it's done more for the financial arrangements that come out of it. And I think that the average American needs to understand that there are financial arrangements and pay-offs that are exchanged between these. I think we showed that very well when it came to the other McCain and others. But when Governor Haley announced Tim Scott, you've got the Twitchy team and the Dana Loesch or Lash or whatever her name is team. And those who claim to be conservative journalists talking about the left's racist comments about the appointment of Tim Scott. Saying, oh, well, that's just, you know, there goes the GOP and the conservatives. You know, don't get me wrong. What the left has said about Tim Scott being another house Negro and all that stuff, yeah, it is racist. But those that point out the fact that they are of the opinion that Nikki Haley and Republicans, because of how badly the Republicans lost to minorities, chose Tim Scott not because of his qualifications, but because of his ethnic background. For those in the conservative Republican side to say, oh, that's just hogwash, they're lying. See, that's what I'm talking about. People can't even be honest. For anybody to say that this was not an effort to appeal to the African American community, you're being dishonest with yourself just as much as those on the left are being dishonest in saying it was racially motivated for other purposes. You're listening to Through the Mirror with Larry Sinclair on the Rense Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Heart-related health problems affect millions of people each year. Maybe you're one of the many who suffer from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, unbalanced cholesterol, irregular heartbeat, or clogged arteries. There is a solution that doesn't involve expensive prescription drugs that only mask the problem and leave you with horrible side effects. If you are ready to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself, then you're ready for Heart and Body Extract from Healthy Hearts Club. Heart and Body Extract has a 23-year proven track record of using certified organic herbs that make up an excellent formula to balance and support the heart and circulatory system. In as little as 2 weeks, you can feel amazing results when your 2-month supply of Heart and Body Extract today. Call 1-866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
If you're taking 1, 2, 5, or more nutritional supplements, please stop. Simplify your supplementation with Bio Superfood, the most advanced nutritional whole food supplement you can buy. Men, women, children, even Olympic athletes the world over have discovered Bio Superfood from BioAge.com. And now take just one nutritional supplement instead of many. The Bio Superfood formulas are whole food products composed with 4 of the most nutrient-dense algae found on Earth. Bio Superfood for the brain helps with focus, memory, clarity, and mood. If you can increase brain health, the rest of the body is a no-brainer. Bio Superfood has 0 toxicity and is safe for you and your family. Learn more and order your Bio Superfood formulas at BioAge.com, spelled BIOAGE.com, BioAge.com, or call 877-288-9116. That's 877-288-9116. BioAge, the age of advanced organics.
Are back, and I'm cutting this bump short because I want to finish what I was saying while I have the studio getting William Landers from Ameriborn News on the line. William's been covering the Connecticut shooting and is in Connecticut, so I wanted to talk to him a little bit about what's going on. But real quick, when we went to commercial break, when conservatives turn around and say that Nikki Haley's decision to tap Congressman Tim Scott from South Carolina, a black man, to fill Jim DeMint's Senate seat when he leaves to take over the Heritage Foundation, had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that Tim Scott was black, is lying and simply cannot deal in reality. So anybody on the left that questions the motives of that choice and interprets it as being an effort to appeal to the African American community, there is legitimate reason to do that. And there's nothing racist about pointing out reality. Now, it's when you go and call him all these other names that I think you're being racist. But to point out that he was chosen by Governor Haley and the South Carolina GOP based on the fact that he is a black man. And in part to try to appeal to the black community by the Republican Party, that's not racist, and I don't think that's too far from reality. And that's just my opinion. I'm waiting. Do we have William on the line yet? All right, we don't. All right. So when I see Michelle Malkin and the Twitchy team and Dana Loesch, and it's the same group. See, this is what bothers me. It's the same handful of people that tweet these things and put this stuff out there and call everybody else out, but yet they can't deal in reality. And anybody with a lick of common sense that looks at this appointment and says that the fact that Tim Scott is black had nothing whatsoever to do with the decision to appoint him to fill Senator Jim DeMint's Senate seat is simply not being honest. And pointing that out is not about being racist. That's just about looking at things from an honest viewpoint. Mr. Landers, you on the line?
Yes, Larry. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm a little bit... I was talking at the first part of this hour about the fact that is it me or is the media really playing this tragedy in Connecticut just a little too much and possibly making it even worse for the families and the victims?
No, I don't think so. I think it helps them. It does help sometimes to feel that you're not the only one, and that people care about you and care about your family.
Well, there was some tweets going out this afternoon by one journalist that said that some so-called journalist outside of the funerals of, I believe it was Noah and what was it, Rick Pinto or Nick Pinto, and Noah Posner, said that reporters were yelling at the family leaving the funeral, were yelling questions out to them.
Yeah, that's not your Connecticut media though. Those are people from coming in from other states or countries for that matter. They're really not part of our normal media corps here, which are you'll find are a lot more respectful and care a little bit more about true facts and less about just trying to get a story.
Well, you've been out there. You were down in Newtown on Friday. What is the feeling? I mean, look, we're talking about a small town. What did they say? Population about 27,000. Something tells me you probably have that many media people when you start talking about sound and lights and engineers and satellite trucks.
Yeah, there's about, I saw somewhere pretty close to maybe 5,000, just media alone right now there. I stopped covering it because there's so many bad people there.
Well, since you're in Connecticut,
I just got through at a press conference with Governor Malloy at the Capitol, at the state Capitol, and of course that was our normal press corps that was there, and we didn't have any of those kind of problems.
You know, the thing, I watched his televised press conference or statements earlier today, and he doesn't strike me as being somebody that's really all together on this to sit there. I mean, it sounded more like...
I saw him literally burst into tears during the press conference.
Okay.
He couldn't help it. He has actually done a very wonderful job, I think, handling this, considering. You got to understand, talking to families alone would be bad enough, but I'm sure he's had to go through some of these reports and see pictures of things. Any father, any real man would be absolutely heartbroken themselves, and to be able to still hold it all together. You know, I commend him. I think he's done a great job with all that.
I guess the problem I had with him today was his description of President Obama as being healing and powerful, and I mean, it was almost like we were describing another godlike.
Well, you know, when he was saying that, I was actually thinking, you know, I was really thinking, you know, in our reality, I thought Governor Malloy, he was describing himself, not President Obama. I don't think, you know, because I personally think that's what Governor Malloy has done, not President Obama. I mean, he's done okay, but I think the one that's really held this all together and made it very successful was Governor Malloy.
You know, before Obama spoke in Newtown last night, there were reports that the White House said that he would absolutely not use this opportunity to play politics about gun control or anything else, and it turns out that some people believe he did just that. Well,
look, it you know, people have their own personal feelings on anything. I look at it this
well,
way.
I'm asking you, did you feel that his reference to doing and
frankly,
using...
I didn't even listen to him because I try not to. I don't mean that negatively. I just, you know, it's just, you know, some people just irritate you. It has to be somebody that gets under my skin. You know, but I do think that there are legitimate moments that he has, you know, really shown some emotion in this. And, you know, and again, you know, he's a father. Don't forget. You know, that could have been his little girls. You know, in his head, we don't know what he's really thinking. You know.
No, we don't. And I'll be the first one to tell you that when he choked up in the White House briefing room on Friday, I actually, in my opinion, made it known that I thought it was just another one of those staged photo ops.
No, I don't think so. I think he really teared up legitimately.
Okay.
You know, there's certain things that you just, you know, even at that point, you know, just he could have been thinking about his little girls that could have been killed. You know, he just got a little emotional for a second. But I imagine after speaking with the families and actually seeing the carnage that went on when he came here to Connecticut, I believe that, you know, now it would be real hard for him, you know.
Well, let me ask you this. There's been a lot of misinformation that's come out of Connecticut. You and I were talking on the phone late Friday night. It turns out we had one of the first pictures of Adam Lanza up, even though we had misidentified it as being a picture of his brother.
No, I still think that was Ryan.
No, not the bottom one, the one above it. But that's actually the one above it has actually been confirmed as being a picture of Adam. But here's my question. Now there's claims that Nancy Lanza was not a teacher at Sandy Hook.
She was not a teacher. She lived. She received close to $200,000 child support or alimony, which that's what she lived off of.
Okay, and I know that she homeschooled Adam. I'm not sure what Connecticut law is. I know that in South Carolina, even if you homeschool, the state actually pays a certain amount for homeschooling. I have no idea.
They don't do that here.
Okay.
If you homeschool, you still pay your taxes on it, on your school taxes and everything. You get no credit or breaks whatsoever. But
you
have to pass a bunch of proficiency tests, though.
Right. Well, look, we don't have that much time left. I'm going to ask you real quick. Has anybody explained this Lieutenant Vance's statements that they're going to prosecute people for putting out incorrect information? I mean, does that mean they're going to go after NBC and CNN and everybody for falsely naming Ryan Lanza as the shooter on Friday?
I doubt it. I think that was more of a deterrent, or trying to, I don't know what state law or federal laws are regarding these things, but I don't think that you have to worry too much. It'd be a little hard to, really prosecute a case like that, I imagine. Because, you do have a right to free speech or a First Amendment right.
Right. All right, well, look, you need to be ready to come on tomorrow night. I'm going to have you on in the second hour, so you need to get all the information on Connecticut's school shooting ready and all your notes, because you're going to be on for the second hour, all hour tomorrow night, sir.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Stay out of trouble, will you?
Oh, I try.
And that brings us to the end of another Through the Mirror with Larry Sinclair on the Rense Radio Network. Please join us all this week. I promise you we'll have some more surprises as far as guests on our final week of broadcasting. And like I said, let's just start being honest. Once we can be honest and deal with the truth, everything else is a breeze. Until tomorrow night, I am Larry Sinclair. Good night.
Heard around the world he never saw, coming from a shout score. Looks like I picked another bloody loser. Betting all the media will do that to ya. Are you a contender? Hell yeah. Or just a pretender? We gotta be the man. Stand up and defend. Welcome to the main event. Here we go.
Oxygen. It's nature's oldest therapy and plays an essential role in destroying viruses, bacteria, mold, yeast, and fungus, and keeping the human body healthy and strong. Now, you can give your body and your immune system a mega boost of disease-fighting oxygen with all-natural Oxy-C. With so many people now leading a sedentary indoor lifestyle, most are in a chronic state of oxygen deprivation, which sets up a perfect environment for disease, general fatigue, and a host of other symptoms. Oxy-C is yours in simple, convenient capsules. Nothing to mix, nothing to hassle with. Take it with juice or water anytime. Feel a cold or flu approaching? Have no energy or spark anymore? Try all-natural Oxy-C and prepare to be amazed. Oxy-C is only available from New Earth Health Solutions at Rense.com. Look for the New Earth banner at Rense.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Rense. Royal Raymond Rife was without question the most gifted medical scientific genius of our age. He discovered that most disease-related microbes die quickly when exposed to their own specialized resonant radio frequencies. The BCX 411 Rife-type frequency instrument has received the highest praise on several continents for its precision, simplicity of operation, and successful research experiment. The BCX, with its comprehensive manual, allows you to select the frequencies you wish to experiment with for the length of time you want to run them. The BCX handheld plasma ray tubes and RF radio carrier